Okay, so where does this go on your comp book? Page 15. Are you turned to that page now? Do you have to go to that page? Go to that page. Go to that page. Are you on that page? You're on that page. Okay. Here's the here's the setup. How many of you have flown on a commercial airplane? Raise your hand if you've flown on an airplane. I see several. When you flew on the airplane, before you took off, the flight attendant stands at the front of the aisles, right? There's all the aisles you're facing forward. The flight attendant stands there and makes a speech to you. And part of the speech says, something to this effect, I don't have it perfect, but something like this. In case the cabin loses pressure, right? Because when you fly way up high, the air's thin, so they pressurize the cabin, right? They push air into it. If the air all flows out, you've seen in the movies where the air flows out of the airplane, not a good thing, right? If that happens, you can't breathe. So an oxygen mask will drop down from the ceiling, and you are to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then the small child sitting next to you. Okay, so you're imagining the scenario? You're sitting on an airplane, you're about to take off, and next to you is seated a small child. I'm not sure what that is. 4 years old? 3 years old? 4 years old? 5 years old? A small child. Are you with me? Okay, if this emergency happens, the life support's going to drop. You are to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then the child sitting next to you. You got it? You got the setup? Okay, who doesn't like this idea? Let me know if you don't like this idea. This sounds wrong to you. Somebody in the room, this sounds wrong to. Who? Tell me who. Susanna, is that a yes? No? Who says this is not a good idea? Anyone? Very. Talk, whether you think it's a good idea or not, tell me why this is not a good idea.
Why is that a good idea? Because it's a little kid, you know? You just have a little kid first and then yourself.
Right? How many of you thinking this? You got to be thinking this, right? I'm thinking this the first time I heard it. It's a little kid sitting next to you. They're helpless. How dare you help yourself first? You with me? How selfish of you, right? Do you feel it? You feel it? I feel it. Why? Where does that come from? Why do you have those feelings?
Maybe because it's like an innocent life, you know, they haven't experienced what an older person has. They haven't really been out in the world like that.
Maybe almost to the point where how unfair to that human. They can't help themselves, right? I've got to help them, right? Okay, so you've talked that side of the point. Everybody got it? Right, you got it? Okay, talk the other side of the point. Who wants to talk the other side of the point? Laura, you want to? Tell me the other side. Why would they be telling you to do this? Okay, I saw you shake your head though. No? Okay.
It's about a crash. They're trying to save yourself first, and then you're thinking about yourself first, not the kid right next to you. So.
Okay, so I think, Laura, if I'm going to rephrase it, and you correct me if I go wrong on this from what you're saying. I think you're saying, okay, the plane's going down, the oxygen mask drop, you save yourself, right? It's a natural human instinct to save yourself, right? I think that's true. Absolutely. And, we have that amygdala part of the brain, our dinosaur part, and I think it's fear, freeze, or flight. Those three things we do under pressure. We can't control it. It takes over. We act like that, right? That we're like dinosaurs on some level, under pressure, right? So you freeze. That would be, I can't do anything. I don't know what to do right now, right? How many of you have done that? I've done that. You run, right? Take action, run. Or fight, right? Or freeze, flight, or flight. You run or fight. It's all the three F's. Freeze, fight, or flight. Okay, I'm going to get it right here a second, right? So you fight, right? You freeze, or you flee. You run away. Okay, those three things that you do under pressure. So I get that. Okay, give me another justification, though. I want one more. I'm looking for one more. What's another justification of why you put it on yourself first? Yes? If you put it on the child, you yourself, what happens to you? You might pass out before you can help the kid, right? How can you help somebody else if you're passed out? Right? Do you see that side? So at least 3 sides now. I bet there's more. And what I'm going for is you're going to write 2 to 3 sentences in your comp book of what you believe. But just to go on Dennis's side a little bit more, who else can talk more about that? What would be other implications in your life? Let me bring up something. How many of you have heard a lot of stuff in the news about rich people? Rich people this, rich people that. Bad rich people. Kind of connotation. Have you heard this? Maybe you think it yourself? The evil rich people, right? Okay, but let me just go down this road a little bit. Just extend this to your life possibly, because I want you to think about this in your life, right? Let's say as you grow up, you want to help other people. Part of that's financially, right? You know people need financial help and you want to do that. Can you do that if you don't have money first? You with me? That might be one possible application of maybe you should think about yourself first, because in so doing, it's not selfish if now you leverage that to help a vast number of other people, right? And I think that's kind of the idea. If you could get that mask on yourself first, maybe you could help 10 children in the plane, right? Not just the one next to you, but maybe you can help a lot of people, right? So I want you to think about that in that context. I know where you're coming from on we grow up and we're all taught to help others, right? Help first, and that's awesome. But this is a very strange situation, right? This is an unusual situation where you're going down, you need to be functional. If you're going to help others, you may actually have to help yourself first. Fair enough? Okay, write 2 to 3 sentences on that. And that's for this part on page 15 if you haven't done it already. Did you do it already? Okay. Okay, hit stop that, Bridget. Thank you.